Hello, kindred spirits. Welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and together we are going to be diving into the highest energies coming in for you for the month of February, as well as looking into a deeper dive of Aquarius season. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful kindred spirits, and anyone new who may be joining us here today on the channel. Wonderful to have you here. I do pick a card readings every single Monday, as well as some educational videos on charm casting and art magic. So if that interests you, definitely feel free to subscribe as we go through your piles here, which are all about February, Aquarius season, and any other little tidbits that you might need to know. Each pile was very unique and very different. Sometimes there's these really overarching bridged messages for each of the piles, but in this case I feel like they're very different, so definitely take your time choosing your piles here today. And on top of that, I want to let you know that if you want to look deeper into any relationships this month, as it is the month of love with Valentine's Day and Galentine's Day and things like that, definitely feel free to check out the offerings I have on my Instagram, as well as just down below in general, to look into the information on relationship readings that I have. I have several different spreads that you can choose from, and digital and snail mail reading options, which are going to be really fun. You can even send them out to a friend for Galentine's Day. You can look into specific relationships with loved ones in your life, with people beyond the veil, with spirit guides, in romance, with yourself even, and just kind of have a little gander there. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely feel free to check out all the information down below to not only support yourself, but support this channel and this space as well. So thank you so much for any support that comes through, and thank you for anyone who has trusted me with a reading in the past. I really do appreciate it. And we are going to look at each of the piles here. So for each of the piles here today, like I said, they're all very different, so take your time. But for pile number 1, if you're feeling called to this specific reading, then you might be feeling called to this stone. I'm going to call it the Squiggly purple stone. I honestly don't know what the name of this stone is, and I'm pretty sure it's just a dyed piece of stone, but I really love it, so I'm going to call it the Squiggly purple stone. So if you're feeling that one, then this is pile number 1. Here for pile number 2, you have the choice to choose this one based off of the stone Rhodonite. So this one's really unique. It has this bubblegum feel to it, but on top of it, it's also got these really interesting black lines. So that's pile number 2. And then last but not least, here for pile number 3, you have this piece of amethyst and these really interesting ribbons. So a nice, beautiful, deep purple and gray and black. So that's pile number 3. So as always, before you start heading off into the timestamps, I like to invite you to take a deep and cleansing, intuitive breath here with me, so you can really connect with your intuition and connect with the piles individually as well as together. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath together here now. And as always as well, there are no right or wrong ways to choose your piles. You can choose all 3 of the piles. You can choose a pile, take little bits from it, switch and move to another one. You can play around as openly and diversely as you'd like. All of the timestamps will be down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And like I said, if you're interested in those more romantic or relationship based readings, definitely feel free to check those out down below with the honest reviews and more information on my Instagram. So with that all said, thank you so much for hanging out here with me already, but we're going to dive even deeper here with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose this more purple speckled stone, then this is the pile for you to look into your month of February, where we're going to see your biggest and highest energies coming forward, your blessings, the energies most on your side this month, romance and relationship messages, as well as looking into Aquarius season. So happy birthday to any Aquarians out there. As we use the charms, many different oracle decks, and the tarot deck of the Queer Tarot today, which I just felt like had very Aquarian energy, all of which I will have listed down below in the description in case you're curious which decks and supplies we do get up to using here today. But yeah, that's the heart of the reading. So do feel free to get yourself cozy, settled, comfy. I just got myself a big glass of water and I am raring to go. So let's just get right into it. We're going to start out by pulling 3 different distinct cards to look into the overarching energies coming in for you for the month of February. As always, do feel free to use your own intuition. Feel free to connect with the cards. Take a moment if you'd like to. It really does make a difference on my end. Even though you're watching this in the future in comparison to when I'm recording this, I truly do feel like those messages make their way here and your energy transcends time and space. So definitely feel free to send your energy in. And let's pull some cards. Dang, that happened right off the bat. I had a feeling that was going to happen. So we're going to take out this 7 of Pentacles. But honestly, I'm feeling that energy of the 4 of Pentacles as well. So I'm going to take both of them out. We're already starting off strong. But let's see what else you have coming in here. Group 1. Over the next month of February, what energies are most prevalently coming forward? Like it's this card here. Okay, so we also have the Knight of Cups. And for whatever reason, I feel like we need 4 cards for you. So I'm going to pull one more. Group 1. I don't think it was that one. There we go. Just had to wait a second longer. And then we also have Temperance coming in here. So overall, all of the energies that you have coming in for your coming month are the Knight of Cups, Temperance, the 4 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Pentacles here. I want to kind of start with the Pentacle cards because those ones feel like they were the ones that wanted to come out most as we started the reading. So as we look at these 2 cards, because they are both Pentacles, they sometimes can relate to your finances, your physical health, or they can also be related to physical activities you get up to. It's basically Pentacles represent the tangible things in our lives, right? So our home, our job, our finances, our money, the things we can touch, the things that we can use to shelter and keep ourselves safe. And so the fact that you got 2 of the most stubborn cards, I would say, in this suit is telling me that you might be in a situation that you're just waiting for something to happen. You're waiting for your house to get fixed. You're waiting for payment to come in. There's something that you're waiting to happen. And I can see you just like, it feels like this not even a knot in my stomach, but it feels just like you're just raring to go, like an energy that's kind of like revving up inside of you, but you have nothing you can do with it, no outlet to use any of the energy that you're kind of holding in. As you can see, they're kind of like holding this energy back, and they're just like ready to burst. So I feel like you're just like, there's this anticipation energy. So maybe your favorite show is about to come back on Netflix. Maybe you're waiting for, again, a payment, something happening within your home, a more physical bodily change, whatever it might be. I can see that energy coming forward, and I definitely see that there is this like, oh my gosh, please, can I just have this already, but I do think there is, with the fact that you have Temperance coming in here and the Knight of Cups, 2 cards that feel a lot more mellow, a lot more chilled out, a lot more comfortable. I don't think that's going to be the whole month, and I think that once that energy is released, you're going to be able to just sort of breathe again, be able to experience life in a much more fluid and calm way. Temperance also showcases you kind of moving into more of a homeostasis energy, an energy that feels comfortable and in balance for you, right? So this isn't what your mom thinks is comfortable. This isn't what your best friend thinks is comfortable. It's how you feel comfortable, right? How long your social battery lasts, how long you want to be doing a certain task, how your body and your mind can take certain situations. So I really think Temperance energy alongside this Knight of Cups is showcasing that you're going to be finding a lot of balance and harmony when it comes to your relationships in your life, because cups can relate to relationships and emotions. So I think on top of the fact that you have this anticipation energy happening when it comes to your relationships and when it comes to your relationship with yourself, I really do think things, if they have been sort of rising in tension, or if you've been feeling any challenges or conflicts there, there's a lot more of a mellowing out, balancing out, harmony energy coming forward. So those are all of your main energy cards, but obviously we're going to be looking further as always. So I want to pull from the Threadbound Oracle here to pull a blessing card. So you can see this as a blessing from Spirit. You can see it as an energy most in your favor this month, or if you had, a tool belt, this is the best tool to be using this month. So we're going to be seeing what that is for you, group 1. For the month of February, what is this blessing coming forward for group 1? And you got the book, which I find really interesting. Not what I was expecting, but immediately before I even say what all of the keywords are here, the fact that I talked about a show that might be coming in, it might also be that there's a book that you've been waiting on or something like that also might be showing up in your life in February, and especially since this is a blessing, I could see that coming through in the form of a gift. But on top of that, you also have the keywords here at the bottom with the book, identity here, consciousness, and manifest. So if you're trying to manifest something, or you're trying to trying to manifest something into your life, trying to make something happen, there could be a magical thing you could be doing, but I also am getting this feeling that you might be sort of subtly turning a chapter this month. And I feel like it's going to be really subtle because of the fact that you have these more chill cards of Temperance and the Knight of Cups kind of encompassing both sides of this reading. I really feel like the book is showcasing that, like, you're about to turn, not even a chapter, maybe you're just turning a page. That's how subtle a change is coming in. And so it's not going to be like this crazy transformative month, but I do think that switch between something is going to happen so subtly that you're only going to notice it in hindsight. So like at the end of the month, you're going to realize where this little switch or change of perspective when it comes to relationships or your emotions might come in. But I do believe it's going to be quite a blessing for you, and it's going to give you a lot more of that relief that you were looking for. So you have the book showing up here. Alongside that, let's go ahead and pivot to a relationship message, since we have so much of that coming in anyway. If you already have a relationship that you're feeling from these cards, feel free to send the energy of that relationship into the cards, but this is going to be a more collective reading message, so you can see this more generally for the relationships in your life, whether that's familial, whether that's platonic, whether that's romantic, spiritual, or otherwise. But let's go ahead and see the energy of your relationships this month. Anything we need to know, anything that group 1 needs to know this month when it comes to these relationships. So you have peace coming forward. I love that, right? We had this harmony energy. We had this things coming back into balance, homeostasis energy. And then you have this beautiful energy of Camilla with peace. Be calm and calm will come. So if you're feeling very anxious about a relationship in your life, or you're feeling a little bit at ease, or not at ease, feeling a little uneasy about something, I feel like that's going to be resolved as the month goes forward. Maybe that's that subtle change that's going to happen, just like a little page turn. Maybe it just didn't have to be as big as maybe, sometimes our brains can, make a situation much deeper and bigger than it really is. And I feel like that switch or that change isn't going to be as big or as much of a major plot point that you maybe had thought it would be. So peace is a really beautiful one to have come forward for your month. And then before we move to the charms, I want to pull 2 more cards on Aquarius energy for your month. But if you are enjoying this reading so far, it would be amazing if you could give this video a like real quick. And do feel free, as always, to comment down below at the end or during the reading of what you're seeing here. I'm always curious to see your guys' personal, unique perspective on the cards. But we're going to go ahead and, speaking of unique, we're going to talk about Aquarius energy. And so even if you're not an Aquarius, right, we still work with the energy of Aquarius during Aquarius season. And how can you best utilize it in your life is to create transformations. Sorry, I've got like a frog in my throat today, but to create transformations, to create change, because Aquarius energy and Aquarian energy is just so inventive. They are so smart, and they can really innovate and create really beautiful changes, needed changes on a societal level and on a personal level. So I want to see what changes might be able to be made for you when it comes to specific archetypes in your life that and ways in which you move through your life. So we're going to see how you can use that Aquarian energy. It's going to make sense as we pull the cards, but let's go ahead and pull you 2 cards to see how you are going to be using this Aquarius energy throughout the month of February. Opportunities to use this Aquarian energy and in what ways. So let's go ahead and reveal these. So first off, you have the Puppeteer with the key words here of explanations and apologies. So the Puppeteer has a lot to do with feeling, trying, like if you think of, being either the puppet or the puppeteer in this case, maybe why things haven't been so calm in a relationship is because maybe someone's been manipulating you or you've been manipulating another. And maybe that's where, just a calm, useful conversation, a conversation to get back on page with someone. Yeah, getting on the same page with someone is a great way to use this Aquarian energy to shift your perspective and to see maybe from the other side, see maybe if they're not really trying to manipulate you for some nefarious purpose, but for something really honest and true and from a real true space and place. So that's what I'm really getting here, is just getting on the same page with someone by changing your perspective or seeing from their point of view. And then you also have the Acolyte, new projects and learning. So I also think Aquarius, like I said, they're very smart, they're very innovative, they think things, they not only think outside of the box, they literally create an entirely new shape of box, you know what I mean? Like they take it one step further. So I really think that if you're working on a skill or you're trying to learn a new project, learn a new software, whatever it could be, right? This is the perfect time to really continue to hone in on those skills and to continue to use this Aquarius energy to your benefit. So those are the cards that you have here, but of course we're going to be playing around with the charms as well. So let's go ahead and pull those, but do feel free as always to really connect with the charms here before I do, and let's mix them up. Okay, so not a huge amount of different charms here, but I will zoom you in so you can see everything. So I felt really called to dropping the die here, and in this case you got it on the number 1, and the number 1 is falling over here towards this temperance energy. So like I said, putting yourself first sometimes can help you to create some of that balance, or being able to look from one person's point of view. So one being an individual, right? So everybody has our own unique individual perspective, our own unique individual needs, and so maybe it's just getting on page or getting back on par with someone when it comes to what your needs are and what their needs are, finding a compromise, looking, from multiple perspectives there, and that can create a lot more peace for you. When it comes to what you're anticipating here, that anticipatory, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for something, you're waiting for something to manifest or come forward, or waiting for that raise, waiting for that house to finish, waiting for that task to happen, right? Being in that circle, what is it, like the wheel of death on a computer screen. What I'm seeing here is you have the chromosome charm or the DNA charm or something that showcases more relating to your physical health. So where I was saying that it could be related to any of the things I just mentioned, there is sort of a more specific message here coming in that it could be related to physical health or physical activities, physical skills that you're getting into. Maybe you are learning a new skill or hobby like spinning or cycling, running, strength training. Maybe it could do with your diet or the way that you just live your life, right? Your physical health that way. But there's something showing up there that's showcasing just a little bit more of a hint. On top of that, when it comes to getting on the same page with someone, you have the react charm. So whenever I see this one, the fact that it's written this way with react is truly making me think not just how you react to something, but like almost reenacting something, looking back over it, making sure you look from multiple point of views, right? If you could go back in time, right, and just be a viewer of a certain moment or situation, conversation that happened, how might you have gone differently about it? How might you look back from a different perspective about it, right? There's something shifting or changing in your perspective for sure when it comes to getting on the same page with someone. And who you might be getting on the same page with, we got honor thy mother and thy father charms. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to honor them, but it just means that it could be related to family or parents, caregivers, guardians, teachers, mentors, people who you really look up to. And in that case, that could give you a little bit more of an indication there. And then lastly here on the puppeteer charm, or puppeteer card, you got the little mouse charm here. Whenever I look at this mouse just looks so like, you know, they just look like angry and upset and kind of like, everything sucks. And, you know, sometimes we have days like that, and that's totally valid, that's totally fair. But because it is facing towards this chapter, towards maybe making peace with someone, it could be that until you're able to make peace, until you're able to have these conversations, hashing something out with someone, you're just going to have it kind of ruminate and brew within you, especially since it has brewery here. So that's kind of what I'm getting here from the puppeteer, and that the Aquarian energy is going to help you to gain a different perspective, but also maybe for another to see your perspective as well. So overall, those are all of the cards and charms that I have here for you for your month of February and the Aquarius energy. Again, happy birthday to any Aquarius or Aquarians out there. If you did enjoy this reading, do be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below. Always curious to hear your thoughts, not only on the reading here, but other readings that you'd like to see in the future. And if you haven't already and you'd like to, I put out new readings every single Monday for love, career, spirituality, spirit guide readings, and so much more. So definitely feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're interested to look even deeper into this reading, especially when it comes to those relationships, definitely feel free to check out the relationship readings that I'll have offered for the month of February. And I also still, if this is still, you know, the tail end of January, if you're watching it at the tail end, I also have some New Year's readings still left and available. So definitely feel free to check those out if you want to snag one up for yourself for a digital or snail mail reading that I can send your way. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for trusting me with bringing you these messages. And I still have that frog in my throat, so my voice is being weird, but thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello Group 2, if you've decided to choose this piece of Rhodonite, then this is the pile for you to look into your month of February, as well as Aquarius season and how that might be affecting or changing or shifting your perspective here. We're going to be looking into those main energies as well as any of the more blessing energies, relationship cards, and so much more. So we're going to be doing all of that with the charms here, the different various decks that I have. The deck that I decided on today is the Queer Tarot, and I chose this one because it has a lot of that Aquarius energy. It's very innovative, different, a unique perspective coming forward. And on top of that, with Aquarius energy, I just want to say again, happy birthday to any Aquarius or Aquarians out there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here too. And yeah, even if you're not an Aquarius, this is still going to be very helpful and useful to you. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So feel free to get yourself cozy as always. Feel free to put your intuition cap on and just hang around here with me. If there's anything that doesn't resonate with you, just feel free to leave it aside and only keep the things that resonate. But do feel free to send your own energy in to the deck here, and let's pull some cards for you, Group 2. Group 2, the main energies, the overarching themes coming forward for Group 2 for the month of February. What do you got going on, February? What do you got going on in February, Group 2? I don't know, I'm feeling these top two cards here. So you have the Queen of Pentacles as well as the Nine of Wands. So there could be a bit of a holdback towards certain individual parts of yourself, But you also have here the Emperor, and alongside that, the Eight of Pentacles. So a nice little variety here we have. But I do think that the ones that are really highlighted for me are very similar to pile number 1. A lot of these pentacle cards are coming forward. Pentacles having a lot to do with the big tangible things in our lives, right? So our money, our finances, so that's related to our job and our career. It can be related to physical projects and hobbies that we're working on. And then the pentacles can also relate to our physical health or our physical home and our physical property, the things that we own and can tangibly touch and feel. So when we're thinking of those themes, there's a lot of repetition coming in here. So repeated behaviors or a repetition of tasks. So when I'm looking at this Eight of Pentacles, it's telling me that you're going to be quite hardworking this month, and you're going to be very detail oriented and focused on these parts and aspects of your life. So if you're waiting to try to get a new job opportunity, you're really working for it, you're putting in a lot of effort daily, this is something that you're putting a lot of your time and energy towards. Alongside that, because you have the Emperor card and the Queen of Pentacles, which are very sensible cards, they're very nurturing, they're sensible, they try to put their best foot forward in every situation and try to really think things through from every angle. All I'm thinking is that this is not necessarily that it's going to pay off, because we're not necessarily getting signs here that it's going to be a successful month, but it's also not telling you that it's unsuccessful. It's just telling me that you're really putting a lot of hard work and a lot of care towards these aspects in your life, and in doing so, I do think you're going to really nurture something to grow. The Queen of Pentacles, as you can see, they're holding this pentacle in their palm, in their hands, and they're really trying to nurture it, trying to keep it safe, trying to make sure that it can grow as best as possible. So if you're thinking of it as a plant, right, you're making sure that it's watered, that it's getting the sunlight that it needs, that it's sitting next to the window, that you're really making sure that it has all of the fertilizer, all of the things, right? So I really feel like you are putting in a lot of effort this month towards something, a lot of effort, a lot of care, a lot of detail, a lot of focus. And I definitely hope it is paying off for you for how much time and effort you're putting in. But by doing so, you also have the Nine of Wands here. And the Nine of Wands, as you can see, they're kind of holding themselves back from something. They're protecting themselves. And so in the same way that I feel like you're really nurturing something to grow, sometimes when we're nurturing something so deeply and so carefully, we kind of shelter it in, right? We kind of put these walls around ourselves. We try to shelter it in, keep it comfortable, make sure nothing bad could ever happen. And so the fact that you have that coming in is telling me that there might be situations, there might be opportunities that come in that aren't feeling as, I don't know, it's taking away your focus towards this. So it could be like a family event, it could be going out socially one night, it could be taking the night off or something like that. And I feel like you're really just going to be very dedicated and very ambitious and focused this month, to the point that some other things are going to fall to the wayside, other things that don't fall into those categories that feel like they need your focus and need your attention right now. So you might find that certain relationships fall to the wayside, or you might find that you just are neglecting other parts of your life, because there could be a little bit of that imbalance there, because when you have a high focus on one thing, there's lots of other things that are happening around you that you kind of get a tunnel vision towards and don't realize might be, by making these your entire focus for the month, you kind of, put other things to the other side. So that's kind of what I'm really getting here for your month. That doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. It just might mean that, just being aware of that can kind of help you to move away from being totally one side or totally extreme on the other side of high focus, or, putting something that you really care and want to put a lot of care and love towards to the wayside. So finding some sort of in between could be really helpful for you, and it's useful to see in a reading, right, to use this as a tool to help navigate your month. So it doesn't have to be that detailed and that focused if you don't want it to be. So these are the biggest energies coming forward, but let's look into your biggest blessing coming forward. So if you think of this as a tool belt, this is the tool belt this is the tool to grab out of your tool belt this month. It's going to be the energy most useful to you, the energy that Spirit is blessing upon you. So we're going to see what that energy is for you this month and how it might be related to your other cards. So group 2, the energy most on your side this month. Ooh, the healer. Okay, so the healer says here, compassion, recovery, and consent. So because you have this coming up, and the fact that I was feeling this intense focus, and I know I've said it many times, so I won't talk about it too much in that aspect. There is this feeling that, like I said, I feel like certain relationships or certain hobbies, interests, other things in your life that aren't within this tunnel vision, detail-oriented space are getting kind of left to the wayside. So the fact that you have compassion and recovery coming in here is telling me that this is maybe a repeated behavior. It's something that you find yourself doing quite often. And so in this coming month, you might be healing from some of those things or finding more of that balance. Maybe you're being able to find where that fine line is a little bit more easily, and being not only more compassionate towards yourself in doing so, right? Because when we focus and tunnel vision into something, sometimes we're not taking care of ourselves in the best way either, because even our own health can fall to the wayside. So the fact that you got this as the blessing for your month is I really just think you're going to be finding more of that middle ground. And on top of that, if you're trying to heal through a certain situation, even if it's unrelated to all of the energy that we've talked about here, if you're trying to heal through a relationship, trying to heal a certain aspect in your life, or trying to mend something, I think that energy is going to be definitely in your favor this month to kind of work on that, or to put maybe more of your focus towards those aspects of your life as well, for healing and that transformation that can come through that recovery as well. So that's the energy that you have most in your favor. But I want to look into, as we've talked about relationships already, your relationship card. So this is for the collective, but if you're interested in relationships more specifically and personally for you, I do have options for that for personal readings right now for the month of February. But for this, we're just going to be looking collectively into a card that's going to give us a little bit more information on the platonic, familial, romantic, and spiritual relationships in your life. So if you have a relationship in mind, you're welcome to send that in, but we're going to see what's coming in collectively. So you have the sunflower, assertiveness, and for some reason I feel like there's one more in here. So let's pull what that might be. Okay, so interestingly, you got both the sunflower and the red rose. So assertiveness with rise up, stand stronger and true. And then you have the red rose of courage, be brave, be strong, and believe. So when you put these two together, there's this very assertive courage. There is this feeling that you're getting a little bit more brave, a little bit more courageous with speaking your own feelings, your own thoughts, being more assertive in a relationship as well, making sure to not take any BS from someone, right? So there's a little bit of that recovery, that compassion towards yourself, and the idea that you're not letting anyone sort of manipulate or try to pull one over on you, especially if someone doesn't want you to be putting this much focus towards something, right? If someone's trying to manipulate you into something, it's usually because when you push back or put a boundary, if someone's trying to push back on your boundary, it's because they want something from the other side. They want something that they can't have from the other side of that boundary. So something that I didn't talk about is that this card can also represent, with the Nine of Wands here, putting up a boundary as well. So where I was talking about, and this is kind of like a 180 from everything else we've been talking about, and sometimes cards can do that, right? Once we get a little bit more of that information here. I am getting this feeling too that some of you maybe have been shaking your head and you're like, no, I don't want to focus on those things. Maybe I need that boundary. Maybe I need that space just for myself to focus on something. Definitely put that down, because, right, when we put a boundary and someone tries to push back on our boundary, it's because they're benefiting from having that boundary taken down. They want the benefit that's on the other side. And so I think it's important for that assertiveness to come forward. I think that courage is really important in your relationships right now, and being brave enough to speak out about the boundaries that you need, the needs that you have, the recovery time that maybe you are needing right now to heal or to grow. And so that's also coming forward as well. Very interesting. I like when the cards kind of change it up and surprise me. So as always, use your own intuition here. Maybe you are seeing other extra layers, and you're welcome to, go beyond that within this reading as well. But I do want to look into the Aquarius energy now. So before we start hitting into the cards, definitely feel free to give this video a like. It really does help the channel so much. So thank you. And you're welcome to subscribe as well. But we are going to look into the Aquarius energy that's going to be going on until about the 20th-ish of the month when it switches to Pisces season. But for Aquarius season, it's all about innovation, change. It's about eccentricity. I can never say that word properly. Basically letting your own unique colors, ideas, and creativity shine. So what I want to do is use this deck to see certain parts of your life that might benefit from this Aquarius energy and how you might be able to utilize it this month. So let's go ahead and see what archetypes are coming forward or specific opportunities for change, innovation, shifting things around, and where those might be coming in. So first up, you have the Sleeper with cause, effect, and clarity. But of course, we're going to pull 2 to get the full story. And then you have the Forgotten, missed opportunities, and fear of failure. Interesting. You also have the Queen underneath that in case that resonates with anyone with determination and sacrifice. But I'm just going to focus on these 2 so we don't get too overwhelmed by the cards that we have here. So like I said, you have the Forgotten with missed opportunities, fear of failure. And then we also have the Sleeper here with cause and effect and clarity. So when I'm looking at both of these cards, you can see one card has their eye open and one card has their eye closed. So there's definitely this balance between these 2 cards for sure. And I think it's interesting how it's matching the balance of the colors that we have already here, right? This card here with the Queen, and we even talked about the Queen just a second ago, is matching the same background. And then visually, this one also looks very similar. So I feel like they are connected. So when it comes to missed opportunities, I feel like what you're changing up this month and using that Aquarius energy to create change and transformation, innovation in your life, is that there's something that you're working on, a skill to grow, or again, whatever you're putting that high, intense focus towards, you're not letting it go forgotten this month. You're not letting it move to March and then to April and then to, and just moving down the months until you never do it, right? I feel like you don't want to miss an opportunity. You don't want to continue to let this just keep slipping your mind. You want to put all your energy, all your eggs in one basket. And then on top of that, you have the Sleeper here. So something that you've been sleeping on, something you have been, and it's even interesting too, I don't know if you can really tell, but the Queen here even has their eyes closed. So there's something that you've been cradling again, but you haven't been able to really have put your full focus on it, put your waking eye on it. It's just something you've been dreaming about, something you've been wanting to nurture in your own mind, but not actually able to put your full energy towards it. And I think that things are just going to be more clear this month. I think that there's going to be these really big possible realizations this month as well about how you're utilizing your time. So as you start to put more of your focus towards these different things that have been getting forgotten or put to the wayside, I think you're also realizing how you're divvying up your time and how you're utilizing your time both ineffectively and effectively, especially with that cause and effect. So I really think Aquarius season is just helping you to be able to shift that perspective and to realize these realizations that are coming forward and how you're utilizing your time, and what's getting forgotten and what's getting, maybe isn't that useful, but it's taking up all of your time, right? A lot of the time, a really great example is like social media, right? We can just scroll through and realize that we took 3 hours of our time. So I do think time management might be also coming in this month as well as something that you're innovating and changing your own habits and rituals that you're putting your mind and focus towards. So with that all said, of course, I don't want to end it there. We're going to look into the charms. So we're going to end with the charms to look into those last little details. So definitely feel free to meditate with them, take a moment with them if you'd like. But we're going to cast these charms for you today. So here we go. Group 2, the month of February. Okay, so not a ton of charms showing up here. Very interesting, the ones that you got. I find it interesting that you got this one as well, because it always looks like this really big void. So the fact that you got that with the forgotten card here is making me think too that, again, it's something that just keeps getting stuck into the void. So it's something we already kind of have already talked about, so I won't linger on that one too much, but you did get the void charm here. On top of that, you have a couple of other charms showing up here. When it comes to boundaries, you have the heart charm. This is a solid heart. This means that, like, this is a really good, these are good relationships that you have. So it's not like they're toxic relationships where you're trying to put these boundaries out and maybe people are pushing on them or pushing back against them, or not truly seeing, you know, the value of your time or the value of what you're putting your time and energy into. But I do think that maybe they are worried for you because they do believe that these are maybe more selfish tasks, or they're just not really going to give you the money that you need or give you the security that you need, right? I think that it comes from a kind place, but it's just not needed right now, or it's just not, you know, that 2 cents isn't needed. So we have that coming in here for you. And then the fact that you got compassion, recovery, and consent for healer. Where you might be healing in your mind is finding balance, finding harmony, right, in your mind, in your mental space when it comes to a relationship with a Pisces in your life, or someone who has more of a watery sign energy in their life, very emotion-based, and very imaginative and intuitive. So that's what I'm seeing here with the charms, really. We don't really have a ton coming in here, but those are all of the charms and cards that you have coming in for your month of February, group 2. I do hope that this has been useful to you, and if it has, definitely be sure to give this video a like. Let me know in the comments down below how the charms, the cards, the different energies that are coming forward connected with you. Always curious. And if you haven't already, I put out these readings every single Monday, as well as other fun artsy educational videos on charm casting or art magic, so definitely feel free to subscribe. And if you are interested in getting your own private personal reading for relationships, or if you're looking into a reading for your new year, if it's towards still the end of January, definitely hop on it, because I have both relationship readings and New Year's readings open right now. And the relationship readings will continue all the way through February, so definitely hop on those if you want to support yourself and support the channel. So thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for trusting me with bringing you these messages. And thank you for just hanging out here with me today. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, group 3. If you've decided to choose this piece of amethyst, then this is the pile for you to look into the overarching messages for your month of February, to look into relationship or romantic messages coming in, as well as the biggest blessings, Aquarius energies, and even the charms. So if you are curious about any of the different supplies or decks that we get up to using here today, definitely feel free to check those out in the description. And yeah, we're just gonna really get into it. I also want to mention I decided on the Queer Tarot today because it just really felt like it had such that intuitive, unique perspective that Aquarius energy really has. So that's just kind of how I was feeling about it. But I also want to mention happy birthday to any Aquarius or Aquarians out there. Thank you so much for hanging out here with me. But also to anyone who's not an Aquarius, this will still benefit you as well. So we're going to be looking into all of that here in a moment, but definitely feel free to get yourself settled, grab some water, some tea, a little snack, a cozy blanket, whatever you feel cozied up to have with you. I definitely have some water with me because I am starting to lose my voice. I know that happens all the time for you here at group 3, but we're going to be powering through. But if I have a froggy voice, do feel free to not comment that in the comments. But we're going to go ahead and look into your reading. I'm feeling giggly today. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm getting giggly for your guys' pile, but I am. So I'm curious to see if that energy continues in the cards. But let's go ahead and pull some cards. So group 3, we're going to be looking into the highest overarching energies coming forward for you for the month of February. The energies most prevalent that continue through the month of February for you, group 3. So first off, you have the Hermit card, and the fact that I don't really read reversals, but I'm going to keep that in mind, because the Hermit card is really just giving me this feeling that you're almost like coming out of your shell, where normally the Hermit is about going into your shell. I'm really getting this feeling that you're coming out of your shell, like you're finally coming back into the world again, or you're recovering from something, or coming out of your shell. So I want to see any more to do with that energy here. Group 3. You also have the 9 of Swords showing up here as well, which has a little bit more of that reason why you may have gone into your shell as well. Might give us a little bit more context here. And then you have the World card. Interesting. So you have 3 very distinct cards coming forward. I feel like they are connected for sure, but I feel like they are giving us some unique perspectives coming forward. First off, like I said, I still feel like you're coming out of your shell from something. You're recovering from something, coming out of your shell, showing a little bit more of your full range of colors, or just inching your way out of one shell into another, right? If you think of like a hermit crab, sometimes we have to change shells, or we need, we grow out of certain things. And I feel like you're growing out of this hermit energy. I feel like you're not that you're like, I feel like it's a little bit of both. Like I feel like you have 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on land, right? I feel like it's like you're starting to creep out of your shell, but I don't feel like you're like gonna hop or leap, right? I don't feel like it's going to be this huge big like event, or like a day that you're just like, wow, I'm just gonna do this cool new thing and come out of my shell on something. I feel like it's gonna take a little bit more persuading to get you out of your shell, but it definitely is showing up here. And I feel like because this hermit is facing towards the World card talks a lot about, and especially when I see it around the beginning of a new year, it makes me think of like those New Year's resolutions. It makes me think of things you're tying up at the end of the year and giving you new opportunities for something new to grow and bloom in the new year. So when I'm thinking of this, right, that's what's really coming forward. The World also can talk about just in general over the coming month. If you have tasks, goals, things that have been lingering in your mind for a while, this is you finishing those tasks. This is you getting to that email list. This is you going to the gym. This is you picking up that parcel. This is you, it's just finishing certain tasks that have been lingering on your mind for a while. Especially if you've been in this hermit mode for a little bit, right? You may have lost some of that motivation, or you're just starting to gain a little bit more of that motivation and momentum as the month continues forward, and that helps you to kind of close up some of these loose ends. That being said, over here on the other side, though, you do have the 9 of Swords, which can showcase, if you think of it more mentally, this can be a lot more anxiety. It can also think of, like when you go to bed and you're trying to sleep, and the whole time you just have a billion different thoughts racing through your mind, and you just kind of are ruminating on a lot of things, or finding yourself going in a loop, and you can't unthink of these things that are on your mind. That's kind of what this card represents. So it's not saying that you're going to have all of that happen daily and nightly, but the fact that the hermit could be facing towards this sort of anxious thoughts racing through your mind, and is instead not only choosing, but are just in general, the energy is flowing towards this World card, is telling me that those things that have been kind of on your mind, ruminating and getting you kind of lost and stuck within, are kind of on their way out, or are tying themselves off, right, I feel like you're tying up those loose ends that have been kind of floating around in your mind, creating all this jumble and this mess. But like I said, I feel like you've got 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land. So that's why I'm kind of feeling like you're taking the 2 sides of the coin of this. I think you're going to have a bit of this anxiousness, but you're also going to be feeling more successful in that you're finishing certain tasks, and in doing so feel more accomplished. So as the month goes by, I really feel like the most important things are that you've got 1 foot on both sides, and it's okay to have that balance. It's okay to not have everything figured out as the month goes on. But I do think that at the heart of it, you are kind of coming out of your shell around something, whether that's socially, whether that's around a specific goal that you have in mind, or whether that is more based in your own recovery or healing with something. Regardless, that's what's kind of coming forward. When it comes to the rest of the cards, right, I want to look into what you have coming in for your biggest and highest blessing. So this could be a blessing card from Spirit, or you can see it as the tool that is in your tool belt that's going to be most useful to you this month, or a very useful energy coming your way. One to really take advantage of this month. So when we think of that, what do you got coming in? Group 3 for the month of February. You have a lot of cards trying to fly out, and like I said, you had that humorous energy, and this is the card that's feeling more bubbly, like in my chest. So I am curious. I think I'm going to take both those cards. I usually don't take 2 for the blessing card, but we're going to just give them out for free today. So we've got the 7 of ink with illumination. It says here accomplishment, realization, and pride. And then on the other side here, you have the protagonist with curiosity, drive, and ambition. Ooh. First off, I'm immediately being just like, the fact that you have so many rainbows coming in here from so many different cards. I know this is the queer tarot, so of course there's going to be rainbows. But in general, I'm just feeling a lot of that rainbow energy, almost like this feeling of like, rainbows coming after a storm, after something is cleared in your path. I really feel like there's paths that have been kind of roadblocked for a while are going to be kind of clearing up, where there's been rain on a certain task, a goal, something you want to accomplish, something you had a lot of ambition for, but something got blocked, or it literally feels like a brick wall kind of showed up. I feel like this rainbow energy is showcasing that something's going to kind of wash away, or that brick wall is going to kind of tumble down. So those roadblocks are sort of being moved out of your path this month, which is really exciting to see. The fact that you also got a lot of accomplishment and pride coming in right next to the World card is telling me as well that you have, again, something you're going to be those accomplishments are going to make you feel a lot more pride and obviously successful. So in doing so, that can also create like that snowball effect of, ooh, if I keep doing this and this and this, those successes as they continue to collide together, I feel like you're going to be feeling even more connected to yourself and connected to, your capability to move through the things that you might be anxious about. It's not necessarily getting rid of the anxiety, but maybe just sort of living with it, or minimizing the strength of those anxieties coming forward in the coming month. Also, that curiosity, drive, and motivation is telling me too that you might be gaining motivation as the month goes on. So like I said, I really feel like you got one foot in, one foot out, but mostly I'm feeling that rainbow energy coming in the most from these cards. You also might have with that realization too, that there could be really big realizations coming forward, surprises even that are going to surprise you. Maybe you're going to surprise yourself by your own courage, or your own drive and ambition this month. As things maybe, like I said, you're coming out of your shell. So in doing so, you might gain a little bit more momentum and motivation, drive, and all of that. So beyond your blessing cards, we're going to move on and shift perspective towards your relationship cards. Like I said, I'm going to be doing relationship readings this month for the month of February. So if you want to get your own personal relationship reading for any kind of relationship in your life, definitely feel free to check those out down below. But for this, we're going to be looking into one specific card, so it's going to be more for a collective reading. So this could be towards a more general point of view within your relationships this month, or you might find that it's really connected to a specific friend, a family member, a loved one, someone beyond the veil, who knows. So we're gonna see. It could even be romantic, but group 3 here. What do we got coming in here for group 3? So you have the forget-me-not. Like I said, I felt like this spiritual connection, someone beyond the veil. I haven't really said that much when it comes to each of the cards. So I do feel like there could be a spiritual connection that's coming in here too, with the remembrance card, the forget-me-not card, the memories, and the memories and the past hold the key. So when it comes to this, it might be that someone maybe you haven't talked to in a long while, someone beyond the veil, a spiritual connection, a friend or family member who has passed, I feel like you might be honoring their memory or looking towards them, maybe having very fond memories with someone this month. I also can see that when it comes to relationships, you might also just be going down not only memory lane, but making some new memories this month as you come more and more out of your shell. So the forget-me-not has a lot to do with memories, making really beautiful memories, or looking back on memories in some way, honoring someone's memory, right? So that's really what you're getting here as a big focus for your relationships this month. But we're going to turn gears again, and this time we're going to move towards the Aquarian energy. So before we look at the cards, though, definitely be sure to give this video a like if you have enjoyed it so far. It really does help the channel. But for the Aquarius energy, basically, Aquarius season, I feel like, is a great season to get innovative, to play, to change things up, right? To not only look outside of the box, but then look outside of the box, outside of the box, outside of the box, right? This is being able to really get out of your shell. So I'm going to see what facets you're maybe finding yourself getting more and more out of your shell in, and what archetypes might be coming forward with that Aquarius energy. So let's see. Group three. What do you got coming in here? Group 3. Okay, so of course I want to pull 2, so we're going to pull another as well and see what you have here. So, group 3, you have the aspirant, ambition, diligent, and setbacks. I even talked about that earlier, that I felt that's totally the word I was looking for as well, right? Not just obstacles and roadblocks, but setbacks. That's the word I was looking for. I really feel like that Aquarius energy is coming forward to help you with that, being able to move some of the roadblocks out of the way, being able to kind of illuminate your own ambition, kind of with those keys coming forward as well, being able to see new opportunities that you weren't able to see previously, that might be enlightened. As you look outside of the box, right, as you get more and more out of your shell, that's when you're able to see more outside of your shell, right? You have a much bigger point of view, a much bigger vision to be able to use your ambition with, and more opportunities to set your mind to. On the other side, you also have the warrior showing up here with perfectionism and burnout. So the fact that you have this one coming up here as well, you didn't have a ton of cards showcasing exactly what these anxieties might be related to, but it could be a perfectionism sort of mindset. I totally feel that as well. Or having like sort of that burnout coming in just because it's a new year, right? Sometimes we put a lot of our energy in January, and by the time we hit to February, right, we've lost some of that ambition, that drive towards certain goals that we may have set. In general, though, I really feel like that's where things might be shifting or changing in perspective. And the fact that you have both of them showing up here again on each side is telling me again you're going to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out of this shell that you're kind of breaking through. So I feel like that's like the biggest energy coming through for the entirety of your reading. But definitely let me know in the comments down below what these two facets are of this in and out energy that maybe you're feeling or battling against. But that's really what I'm seeing here. Before we end your reading, though, of course, I want to look into the charms. So definitely feel free to meditate, connect with them if you would like to. But let's go ahead and pull them here for you, group 3. Okay, so we have a lot falling in the middle here today, but let's go ahead and have a little look. First off, outside of the middle cards, you only had one charm fall forward, and it's the originality charm. It also has these little grapes here as well, so it can have sort of that grape energy as well in case for some reason like Dionysus kind of came forward for me. So we have that showing up here, but yeah, you have original thoughts, original ideas that you're trying to bring forward in this new year, or things that you're trying to wrap up that are very original. They're very unique to you, very unique goals that, aren't maybe things that everyone tends to set this time of year. So that might give you a little bit more of a hint if you were kind of lost with that card. On top of that, here with accomplishment, realization, and pride, as well as the protagonist of curiosity, drive, and motivation, you kind of have two sets of charms showing up here. So with the things that you might be feeling more accomplished in, you have sort of like the whenever I look at this one, it kind of makes me think of like hobbies or skills that we're learning and growing in, because this is dancing, right? Dancing is one of those kinds of skills. So I really feel like it's definitely a more personal goal, or again, with that original idea, like something that you've had maybe setbacks coming in, and you're going to be having those sort of clear up this month, are within those hobbies, those goals that you're trying to work on that are very personal and unique to you. And then also you have the imagine, dream, and believe charm showing up here. Here, let me see if I can get it to focus. The imagine, dream, and believe charm. So showcasing more of that believing in yourself. It's definitely related to maybe creativity, imagination, the fact that you also have the dancer, right? That's a very creative and very skillful sort of hobby or goal to sort of work towards. And then over here on the protagonist with curiosity, drive, and motivation, sort of moving you forward, helping you plow through these setbacks. You do have the forward momentum charm, so things are moving forward. If you feel like things have been stuck, if things have been, lacking in movement, things are definitely moving. Things are definitely going to be transforming this month. Even though you only have that 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing, that change is coming in. It's coming in, and it's rolling in a very smooth sort of way. That's how I'm feeling, right? It doesn't feel like super fast, but it also doesn't feel slow. Again, everything in moderation basically is what's coming in here for you this month. So if you're worried about transformation coming in very quickly, very fast, and very like all at once, that's definitely going to be less of the case. It's going to be more slow, more gradual change. So overall, those are all of the charms and cards that I have here for you. Group 3, if you did enjoy this reading, like I said, definitely be sure to give this video a like. Let me know in the comments down below how the different charms were calling to you. I definitely was curious to see how you were feeling with them, especially for your pile. And if you haven't already, definitely feel free to subscribe, as I put out new videos every single Monday for readings, for art, magic stuff, as well as educational videos on charm casting and many others that I would love to do even more for you. So definitely feel free to subscribe. And if you're interested in a New Year's readings, those will be out for just the rest of January. And then after that, I am also doing relationship readings for any kind of relationship you want to look into. So platonic, with loved ones beyond the veil, with yourself, with friends, with family members, right? I'd love to look into different relationship readings for you, because I'll have those out for the entirety of February. So definitely hop on those for snail mail and digital readings, as a way to not only support yourself, but support the channel too. So thank you so much for hanging out here with me, trusting me with bringing you these messages here today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.